Hello, and welcome to another episode of Couch Coaches. I'm John Lazaron, and I'm joined by my good friend and co-host, Richard, the band Wagner. Laddie, how's it going, my mate?
Choo. Yeah, the wagon's low on steam this week, John. Low on steam.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sort of don't know what to say about that game on the weekend. It's been tough to sort of back up from it. I think on Monday you text me saying, hey, how are you? I'm still livid, and I was I was feeling the same. So yeah, I've had better weekend. It was a lovely weekend apart from the Wars game, but yeah, I mean I just don't know what to say about it and where we can go from there. Was it? I mean, I'll just say it. Was it the worst Wars loss of all time?
So right up there. I mean, I remember actually you responded to me on the weekend saying I was gonna make a comment on Facebook, but then I was just so angry I couldn't do it. You were too emotional to do it, and and understand. So let's quickly, before we go into anything, first things first. I asked you the question on the weekend. Or for all you out there who are listening to this or watching this, how are you all feeling? Because it's been a really heavy last few days after that loss to the Titans, that 60-point drubbing from the Titans, and in answer to your question, it's probably one of the heaviest. Well, it is one of the heaviest losses in our history, but probably what made it worse is how it happened and how the way it all just unfolded, and also not just that, it's been a heavy last few days, not just because of that, but because of what's happened after. With all the Warriors will pretty much, even though there's an origin game tomorrow, the Warriors have been up there in terms of headlines, and they're all for the wrong reasons. You've got you look at the Footy Show, NRL Footy Show or Channel 9 over in Australia, also NRL 360. Big chats about the Warriors and what's going on. It's all negative, from Sean Johnson about what's happening with Sean Johnson, also with Adam Fanua Blake, etc. Things like that about is his recent episodes of what happened, have they caused a bit of a concern in the camp. So we're going to talk about that, but let's just get straight back into the game quickly, because that game, that was awful. I mean, I think before the first, I think there was about 47 missed tackles altogether for the whole game, but there was close to 30 just in the first half. And no disrespect to the Titans, because you got to give credit, where credit's due. They were great, but did we make them look really good? Because we were. I mean, I'm sorry to say, but we were pathetic. We were just missing tackles. We made it too easy for them. Did we make it too easy for them?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean they just, you had to look at, like, Kieran Foran was looking like Jonathan Thurston. Cam Pereira was looking like just trying to think of one of the great wingers. Like, we were just making pretty ordinary players look like these absolute superheroes. I think it was the third Titans try they scored, and it was Chris Randall, I think. He ran through the line, bumped off Jackson Ford and Jess Tavega, and went out for a try. And it was just, you just think, how, like two really reliable tacklers in the middle there. He's not a big, he's a dummy half, and it wasn't coming from dummy. He was in first receiver, and he just ran straight through them. And it just got worse and worse from there. It was 30-0 at halftime, 66 6 at full time. I mean, I must say, Jaden Campbell is when he's fit, man, he's a good player. He's very slippery. He had a hand in plenty of those tries. But no, we weren't good enough. The stats sort of, as you said, 47 missed tackles, and that's just not good enough. I mean, I would still struggle if we're losing 66-6 to the likes of sort of Penrith or the Storm, or some of these front runners. But this is the team that was sitting bottom of the table. They've lost to the Tigers last week. We've already lost to them this year. So it should have been a big bounce back game for us. We had a few key guys back from injury. Obviously, I think definitely missed Mitch Barnett. I did mention,
sure.
I did say last week I was a little bit concerned because he is so important to this team, but he's not 60 points important. Like I just
you expect better.
Just frustrating. Kieran Foran, there's a hit that he put on, I think, Dylan Walker, and we were close to the line, like we were hot on attack. Sean Johnson sort of sending that pass out to, I think it was Montoya, Cossie. He was open, so he would have scored, but Pereira came in and intercepted it. The Jackson Ford's missed, his knock on over the line. Well, I thought the bunker probably deserved another look at that, to be honest. I think the commentators were saying a week before that the bunker had actually given a try like that because the ball actually never it's never separated from his forearm, but I can accept that. Went up as a no try. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Where do we go? Where do we go from there? Where do you go from there?
No.
I was probably expecting if maybe a few players could have been, dropped or moved around, but from looking at the team for this week, it's pretty similar. Obviously, Barnett and Capewell come back from their Origin duties, but I don't know whether we need to be holding some of these guys accountable because
I think
that
you're right.
performance was just not good enough.
I think you're right. I actually thought that the team would be a little bit different, and I thought that after that would have been a little bit of a wake up call for Webster to realize that he's going to have to go back to what was working because it hasn't been what we've gone with now hasn't been working, and you don't have to be a genius to figure that out. And I understand it must be so hard. Well, I'm not a coach, so I don't understand from his point of view, but I'm a couch coach, so basically it's. You can understand why he would stick with people because he knows them personally. He knows them and he sees them training. We don't. But I just thought now was the time because if you're going to lose like that to the bottom team, but I think it's not so much their ability. There was an attitude problem. I think one of the players, I can't remember who said it and what show, but they were talking about it was an attitude. I think it was Cam Smith actually. I think Cam Smith was saying it's an attitude thing. You could see that they were just never in it. And when your attitude is flat, these things are going to happen. And I agree. And you can see that they were flat, even on attack. Like Dylan Walker normally takes the ball, goes up forward, makes a lot of meters and does that pace. And it just felt like he didn't know what he was doing up there. I'm not trying to blame Dylan Walker here because I'm a big fan. I give him a lot of points in their Wally ends and stuff. But it's just everyone just seemed just out of sorts, not knowing what they're doing, missed tackles everywhere. And Jackson Ford's usually pretty good, on the tackle front and always taking the ball up. But he's probably one of the better ones out there. But that doesn't say much. That doesn't say much for that game, and it was horrific. And I was just sitting there, and I looked, I was just sitting there on the couch watching the game, and had my wife next to me, and she just looked at me. She's just giving me that stare, just that like little grin, like just staring at me, and didn't say a word. I'm like, what? I said, don't even. You're gonna make me angry. And she goes, nothing. I just wanted to look at you. So she was just, she was being cheeky, but she knew what was going on. And
I had my in-laws around there. And my father-in-law kept being like, oh, at halftime he's like, oh, it's probably gonna be 60-0, isn't it? And I was like, fuck off, mate. And then, but lo and behold, I had to pop out to go to the other shops quickly. I came back and Tuasa Sheck was been sent off and. They just put another 2 tries, and I was like, "What's happening here?"
Yeah, exactly.
So what did Tuasa Sheck get sent off for? Oh, I didn't even see it, and then I saw it, and then I got even more angry. I'm sure we'll touch on that.
I was angry. Well, let's go into that because otherwise we're gonna just gonna roll ourselves up with all the negativity that's been happening from this game because there was nothing positive to take from that game, nothing at all, and people can say, oh, yeah, look for the positives, but where? There was nothing there. They're a better team than that and things like that. But we'll talk about that further on in a minute. But let's just talk about what happened in the game, RTS Simbin. We posted something on our Facebook channel and we had a lot of comments. We got a lot of engagement on that one and people with their opinions. And, there were some people saying, yep, you deserved it. But it was the majority were basically siding with that was a rubbish call. You go on. I remember I watched last night Paul Gallen talking about it, and he was livid himself. I think, and then you got Gus Gould as well. They were all angry about it, and they were just saying that the bunker's there stop howlers, and this is just ridiculous. And like, I don't like to pinpoint people. I don't like as you know, I don't like to just do this. But Casey Badger was the one in the bunker. Then she's had a bit of a rough time herself, getting a lot of flack from a lot of people about her, the way she's done things. But I just thought I don't understand what her reasoning is, because she said it could have been dangerous. But this is what Paul Gallen said. He said, yeah, it could have been dangerous, but it wasn't. Yeah, it could have been. It could have been, but it wasn't. But it wasn't though. So how do you penalize it if it wasn't? Yeah, it could have been dangerous if it went further, but it didn't. So he was basically saying, if this is going to be a problem, if you think lifting is a problem, why don't you tell every club and say, no longer allowed to lift? And the reason why he was livid is because when the head of referees came out, what's his name again?
Graham Annesley.
Yeah, and when he came out and he was defended the argument, it was just like everyone was like, "What the heck?" And this is like, just shows you how. I mean, these guys are supposed to be the best at what they do, but honestly, I mean, it's just stupid. It's just so that's the word. It's the word is stupid, because it's like they're defending their howlers, but they're there to stop the howlers. And what do you do? Well, what can you do? Because it is one person mentioned on our channel, on our Facebook channel, that this is happening across the not just the Warriors that culprit. Yeah, and I said, yeah, I agree. It's not just the Warriors, because the inconsistency of the refereeing across the NRL is affecting every club. And maybe you can argue, maybe not the Storm, because they get away with flipping everything, the flipping the bloody grubs. Yeah, it was just I don't understand. I think that was the first time he's ever been sin-binned in his whole career. 250 plus games, and never been sin-binned. And Jaden Campbell, obviously had a good game, but he did well in the acting part as well. Landed on his back. And people can argue about
straight away.
Yeah,
I mean, it was just a copybook tackle. Like, I was watching the highlights before, and I saw the tackle again, and I kind of hadn't clicked that it was that tackle. I was like, whoa, what a hit. Like my instant reaction was just like, what a tackle. And then it's so funny hearing the commentators, because they're like, oh, great tackle. Oh, penalty.
They were dumbfounded. They were dumbfounded.
And Blocker Roach is one of them. Even he was saying, that's not a penalty. I can't remember. I think Corey Parker was he was a sideline commentator, and he was like, penalty if that. And I mean, the whole, could have been dangerous is just ridiculous, because it wasn't. Like, they're playing a contact sport. They're playing a sport where literally the job is to, run up and tackle people. I mean, are you gonna penalize people every time they? I don't know. Yeah, like,
it's ruining the game.
It's so many things could be dangerous in league, So I just that excuse is just not. And then for Annesley come to back, but I know it's his job is to hold people to account, hold these refs to account, and especially, I mean, I know it was 30-0 at the time, so we're never coming back. But then the Titans went on to score 3 tries while he was, so it just rubs the salt into the wound. For just an absolutely idiotically stupid, stupid decision. And,
exactly.
I don't know. Did you see the Sam Walker one on?
Don't even get me started, mate.
Exactly the same as Dallin. Exactly the same as Dallin. I had no problem with Dallin being sent off for that. I had no problem with Dallin being sent off and getting, because it's dangerous. And you've jumped up and flipped someone around the neck, which Sam Walker did as well. And I think he got put on report and didn't get sent off. I don't think he's got a ban for it, but I could be wrong. I'll quickly just look that up. But I mean, that's just talking about the inconsistencies. It's just frustrating.
Ruining the game, and you can understand why people are arguing that there are protected teams, because it seems to be those teams that are the ones that get away with it. Like that Sam Walker one, how did he? Put on report, but he doesn't get sent off for the sin bin. And then you look at the previous week when the Warriors played a couple of weeks beforehand when they played the Cowboys, when Harris DeVita sin bin for just dropping the ball like that, and then Chad Townsend, he didn't really do anything wrong. Like he was on the opposition. He was playing for the Cowboys. He didn't do anything wrong, but he still got sent off as well for escalating it. And I'm like, what the heck? You calling that escalating a fight? Escalating a fight.
Yeah,
I mean, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, that was as bad as it gets. Like, Chad was going around, but he swinging at anyone he could, so he probably deserved it. But I mean, yeah. Oh, he did, and like Townsend didn't even react to that one. That was the most frustrating thing about it. Like he just sort of dropped the ball. Townsend, it just like brushed his shoulder. He walked off, like didn't even look at Harris Tavita. And it's
it's frustrating. Look,
a feeble attempt from the refs to try to control a game, but they're just ruining it in the process.
Yeah,
so
and
I suppose it could be dangerous. The ball could have knocked Walker Townsend in the nose, and then he could have got a bleeding nose from it, and then I don't know, got blood on his shirt. So fair play. Just how about every time that we have something that could potentially be dangerous, we just send the players off. So looking forward to having our like 1v1 rugby league games where one
it's
5v5 bit of touch.
Yeah, mate, it's hard because the thing is that we love the game of league and we'll always love it, but it's these things that ruin it. Like, like for example, you got the State of Origin where Richard, sorry, not Richard, Reece Walsh, I thought that was pretty heavy, but I didn't think he'd get sent off. I thought he would get sin-binned. I thought it was on borderline of sending off, but that's probably not the best example to use actually when I think about it now. But I'm just saying that there's just the inconsistencies across the board, and it's not just this season; it's been happening for the last few seasons now, and it's just getting ridiculous and it's ruining the game. And everyone's saying it, and I'm quite surprised that the NRL haven't caught on to it yet. They know, the whole the body corporation, the body of the game of this great game is not catching on. That there's a lot of inconsistencies and they're just like trying to defend it. Just makes me live it in.
They're obviously aware of it because it's all the media and the media and the fans are talking about. So it's just
it
didn't help what was already a very frustrating game. One of the most frustrating games. I put a little poll on our Instagram before actually asking if that was the worst WAS victory of all time, loss of all time, and it's 100% yes. So the people have spoken. That's a hard yes on worst loss of all time, and that's saying something because there's been some dark days and some. You think of that Storm one in particular comes to mind. Even that, when we lost 44-0 to the Titans, that was pretty bad. But that was a bad team. We were still in, that was still the lockdown protocol. And it was the end of the season. I think last game of the season. There's no way we can make the 8. To put on a performance like that in such an important game, we've got some big games coming up. It's just frustrating, not good enough, and probably can say it now. We're not going to make the 8.
Oh, I disagree with you. I'll disagree with you there. I think we still. Look, we're only like 3 or 4 points outside the 8 still. But
but we lost by 60 points to the Titans.
Yeah, I know.
How do you bounce back from that?
No,
how do you bounce back from that?
I reckon they'll bounce back. Even the Broncos fans are saying. I looked at the Broncos page and. They were all, trying to encourage their team because they haven't been doing that great either the last few games. They've lost, I think, the last 3 or 4 games. But they were saying, don't take the Warriors lightly because they're going to want to bounce back. And most people were saying that. And I think that they're going to have to bounce back. Obviously that's obvious. But what I mean is they're going to be making sure that they don't let that happen again. The players will be aware. And, not just for the team themselves and the club themselves, but they've got a big fan base, not just here, but across the ditch as well. They're going to have to do something, and
coming back to a sold out Mount Smart, which was sold out 3 weeks ago, I think. So
I predicted that as well. So I'm predicting we'll still have a chance for the 8. It'll come in the next couple of games. We'll find we still got 2 buys as well. That gives us 4 points. Gives us more points, but every other team does as well. I know, so it doesn't really matter. But look,
we'll beat the buy.
Yeah, we'll beat the buy. Yeah. Well, let's just talk about quickly because the team we've all already established that the team was really flat. On attack, on defense, just everywhere. Just look too easy for the Titans. But also one player that just out of sorts is Sean Johnson. And we know we've defended Sean Johnson a lot, on this podcast because I may not be, like a professional athlete like Sean Johnson, but I've had a ruptured Achilles, for example. And just to give you context, he's out for 4 weeks apparently. Webster's saying he's out from possibly 4 weeks with a little bit of a niggle to his Achilles. I know how bad it is, and it must be hard for him. And a lot of people are calling for his head. And I just think it's a little bit unfair, to be honest. You can't just put all the blame on Sean Johnson just because he's a superstar. That everyone's trying to put their blame, and this is why I say that sometimes we have the worst fans. Sometimes we can have the worst fans about how they speak about their players, and the way I've seen across social media, the way people are talking about Sean Johnson and stuff is just a joke. I can't believe it, but imagine what it's doing to his mental health.
Especially for that game. Like, I mean, you couldn't say that anyone had a good game or even near a good game, really. Like I was trying to sort of, give my Wally in points for the week. I struggled. I was almost just like, I might just not, because nobody deserves to get points.
That's the thing. There will be a struggle. Imagine his
blame it on him. Yeah, like there's a lot of good players in that team, a lot of leaders, and just no one stepped up. It was it was bad.
Well, in the Warriors media session, Webby, addressed it as well, saying that, he actually said it's not fair to blame this all on Sean Johnson. So he knows what's going on and what people are saying. But does Sean Johnson know? Does he turn off his social media? He'll probably have an idea. And imagine what it's doing to him right now, mentally. So it's really unfair. If you're listening and you're a fan and you want Sean Johnson's head, I'm telling you just to, put your finger out of your ass, because it's just like, it's really unfair on him. He doesn't have to prove himself in the sense of he's done it before. He's done more good than bad, over the years and stuff. And he's having a bit of a lean, not the greatest run.
Look at him last year. He was Dally M. He should have won the Dally M last year. He was literally the best player in the league.
Exactly.
I mean, sports fans have short memories, and Warriors fans in particular have even shorter memories than that. So
exactly.
I just hope he's able to recover. I mean, he's had a horror run this year with injuries as well. So, but it may have given, it might be a blessing in disguise just for the team for now, because I think that the Sean Johnson, Tamari Martin, they're both great players, and when they're on, they're great, but they haven't been able to figure out their combination, before Sean's injury originally, and then, Sean came off, and Tamari Martin and Harris Tavita had, played a couple of games, got a few wins. Sean came back, and they just, they haven't been able to figure out how to sort of, the two of them play together and who's doing what. So maybe
that's exactly it. That's exactly it. I mean, on Sunday I bumped into Charlie Gubb, former Warriors prop, fan favorite. He's been on this show before as well. I spoke to Charlie Gubb about it, and he was just telling me that he was just telling me that he still believes Sean Johnson at 7 and Tamari Martin at 6 is still the way to go. And it's good to hear an insight from someone who's been there and done that. So he was just saying that. Yeah, he was just saying that it's they just need to gel. Once they gel, they'll be fine. But you see, the people are calling for Sean Johnson's head just because things haven't been working. But before that, before Tamari Martin got put in the 7, he wasn't doing much either. But now everyone is praising him. So the thing is that he just said they just need to work out how to gel, and once they gel, they'll be fine. And so he still thinks that should be Sean Johnson and Tamari Martin, because Luke Metcalf is not available at the moment, are the two main halves. I spoke to him about what I thought. I thought I would love to see Tuapiki back at fullback, and maybe Chance going into 5'8", and Harris Tavita on the bench. But he doesn't agree with that. He just says nah. Keep Chance at fullback or centre.
Yeah, I mean, Chance is it's Webster's game plan is based around Chance being fullback, so I think he has to stay there well fit. I mean, I know that you're a big Tuapiki fan and you just want to see him in there somewhere, but
it's because he's proved himself. He's proved himself. I mean, he's defensively sound. He's great under the high ball, and he's not afraid to attack the line. I mean, every time he's played, he's done a great job. And, that clutch kick as well that won us that game. I can't remember who it was against. But, he's done in Magic Round. So he's done an amazing job. So why would you exclude him? I mean, for me, we'll talk about the team later on anyway. But that's why I wouldn't exclude him. I'd put him in there. I mean, Freddie Lussig's made the 17, and I'm a fan of Lussick, but I would rather have Tuapiki there. Anyway, before we continue, let's just talk about quickly one of the many players that were flat was Adam Blake. It's pretty unusual for him to be having a flat game, and on NRL 360, there was talk about, you know, Brent Reed, the journalist, was saying there was some whispers about some that he was there was the Warriors players were unhappy of everything that's going on with the Phil Blake situation. So he called Cronulla, and Cronulla said no, wondering if he's going to be coming back early, and they said no, he wants to pay his debt to the Warriors. You know, he wants to do that. He's not going anywhere. And, you know, Webby's comebacks also saying it's just a lot of rubbish and stuff. And I think this what annoys me. I know they're the journalists, and being a journalist myself in the past, you know, it's a job to go find the news. But some of these journalists are just, they do my head in. I'd rather listen to the players like Gordon Tallis, you know, or even Braith and Esther. I'd rather hear them talk.
Oh, not Braith.
I'm saying rather than the Buzz Rothfields and then the Brent Reeds.
Oh
and stuff.
yeah, well that's not hard though.
Yeah, that's my point though. That's my point, because these are the journalists who are doing all the stories, but they're just some of the stuff that they say and they do, and they make all these predictions saying it's going to happen, this is going to happen. Doesn't even happen. There's just a lot of bullcrap that they're just doing to stir up. And you know, when you work in media, which we know both of us have done, you know that a lot of times these things are just for clickbait. They'll make things up. They'll not make so much make things up, but they'll bring something that could be a possibility just to stir things up, and it's just really unhelpful. But anyway, don't have a lot of time for the journalists on the league journalists.
It's your problem if you're watching 360, mate. You're getting no sympathy from me if you're watching that rubbish.
You don't like it? You don't like 360?
Well, look at the status. Someone like Braith hosting it. Paul Kent's, you know, he's obviously having a leave of absence, but you know, he's normally there. Buzz, they're just a bunch of idiots, you know. On the Fanua Blake thing, I think the fact that he, you know, I don't know whether it's true or not, but if he has in fact said, you know, I owe debt to the club and I want to play out my time here, it's a good sign. He was, I mean, he wasn't great, but no one was, you know, on the weekend. So I'm not gonna, as we said before, I'm not gonna point fingers. I think when he had that suspension a few weeks ago, I just said, look, I just want to see him play out his days here, you know, want to play here, because you know, you think back to last season, he was loving it. He just had a big smile on his face. He was scoring tries left, right, and center. You know, he got his little celebration and all the boys getting around him. So hopefully, he can just pick himself back up, and then you know, we can, as we sort of just slide our way into a heartbreaking 9th place, John.
Yeah, no, I'm really believing that, you know, we'll pick we'll do a lot of big we'll do a better job this week. Really believing that. But before we talk about start reviewing the Broncos game, let's talk about Wally Eames, because I'm pretty sure this will go pretty fast. I actually struggled with this. I struggled with this, and you know, and you want to tell everyone what the Wally Eames are and what this is about, so you can take it from here.
Yeah, sure. So the Wally Eames, for those who haven't heard or watched us before, it's our version of Dally Eames that we just do it on the Wars games, because the Dally Eames are wrought after Sean Johnson was robbed last year. So we'll just give out our 3-2-1 points based on the game. As we've both said, this was hard. I'm not going to dive into stats. I'm just going to throw out some names, and then we might be able to move on. I will give 3 points to Jacob Laban this week. You know, I thought he injected a bit of energy off the bench. We still probably haven't seen the best of him, but I'm happy that they keep on giving him. He's obviously, you know, one they've circled for the future, so good to see him. I thought he was good off the bench. I thought Tohu Harris had, you know, I mean, it was a hard game for everyone, but he got my 2 points. He got a try assist, so that's a start. He had some all right tackling and running stats, but once again, just everyone was looking a bit flat. And Jackson Ford, number 1 point for me. Missed tackle, missed try opportunity, but probably one of the ones who thought he looked like he was putting in a bit more effort than everyone else. So that's my 3.
My 3 points goes to Tamara Martin. Scored a try. I think he did one line break as well. I mean, it doesn't sound like a lot, but it's just a lot. It was a lot more than anyone else did. So basically, just give it to him. You know, he tried, you know, his best, and I just think, there was, like I said, if you know, it just as Richard explained what this point system is about. It's really hard to give points when players are just all flat. Like pretty much every player was flat. Jackson Ford, I give 2 points to as well. I agree with you. I mean, unlucky not to get that try. Tried as he did miss a few tackles, etc. But he was trying. You can see that he was trying out there. And I was thinking Laban as well, but I'm going to give it to Nyokore. I just thought that whilst he didn't do anything significant, he was still trying as well. He was still trying his hardest as well. So I just give him one. I don't think I've ever picked Nyokore, in the Walliam. So yeah, those are my three. There's my 3-2-1, and yeah, probably.
As I say, on Nyokore, I feel like they were going to him a lot on attack, but it was really predictable. Like he was sort of just lurking on both sides of the field, but it was almost like the halves were just sort of like, like passing the ball to him like this, and yeah, it was a bit like they were just overusing him, and it was just looked a bit predictable, I thought. But yeah, no dig on him. Like he I think he put some stats up, but yeah,
but you're absolutely right.
Needs to be better than that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, because I actually noticed this as well, is that when they keep going out to the right with Sean Johnson out there, how Sean Johnson normally does something and tries to do a trick play and then tries to spread it out more. Instead of doing that, he was getting Nyokore to cut in, and he was just passing the ball, and it happened nearly every time. Like, I keep watching it saying, why are you doing this? It's obvious what you're doing. Sean Johnson's normally someone that will, you go hit the line, straighten up, and then pass it out. He does that, and that's why he gets a lot of try assists, but he wasn't doing any of that. So I don't understand what was going on. I don't understand the game plan. It made no sense to me. Like I said, nothing on Nyokore, because he was the one getting the ball and it wasn't really doing much. But like you said, it was predictable. It was completely predictable. So it just made it easy for the opposition to realize what Sean Johnson was doing, because he wasn't changing it up. And that's where I think we've gone wrong as well on attack, because our attack was really flat. But anyway, that's the Walliams. That's the Walliams, and let's just move on to the game on Saturday at Go Media Stadium. Again, sold out for the Broncos. Broncos are looking at their lineup. They haven't really included any of their origin stars. Reece Walsh is not there, etc. But they've got Calvin Cobbo, who didn't make the Queensland team this time, for number 2. But do you want to read out, mate? You got the team in front of you?
I do indeed. Yep.
Do you want to read out the Warriors lineup, so everyone knows what changes you made?
Yep. So yeah, fullback got Chance. Williams Gallen's back from his 1-game suspension. Poor Ed Kosi didn't have his best game, did he? So that would have been a pretty easy decision to make. And Marcelo back on the other wing. Yep. Roger Tuasashek and Adam Pompey in the centres. Harris Tavita comes into 6 with Sean Johnson being injured, with Tamara Martin going to halfback. Same front row again. So it's sticking with Jackson Ford in the front row with Vanilla Blake and Welligan. Nyokore and Mitch Barnett. Mitch Barnett back. He's a big in for the and they've obviously established. He's played a lot of that 10 jersey, but they've flipped him and Ford around. So and then Bill Harris captain in at lock with Freddie Lussick, Dylan Walker, Jez Tavaga, and Kurt Capewell on the bench. So it's an interesting bench for me. I just I've said it before. I just feel like Capewell's too good of a player not to be kind of playing 70 plus minutes, So, I mean, he's an 80 minute second rower. He should be. So, but I mean, they're sort of picking on form there. It's good. He probably hasn't quite proved himself there. I think I love Jazz and walks on the bench together, but they just play such a similar role. So I wonder whether there's, especially with Tom Ale 18th man. So I wonder whether he might come in, because you don't really. I mean, you've got middle cover, but you don't have a proper front row cover there, do you? So, especially when you've got Jackson Ford playing in the front row as well. So it seems pretty weird to effectively play a game with one front rower. Tom Ale might come in there. I wouldn't be surprised.
He might come in depending on how Kurt Capewell comes out of Origin, because he's playing. So like, he's been listed to play, but it all depends on.
He's just coming off the bench though, for Origin. You right?
Yeah, he's coming off the bench for Origin, but he's still playing though. But whereas in like for example, in the Broncos team, in the reserves, they've named Reece Walsh, Payne Haas, Patrick Harrigan, and Corey Oates. They're all on the reserves there, because we know when you do that, when that happens, is because they're just waiting to see how they pull up. So it all depends on that. I mean,
Corey Oates isn't playing Origin now, is he?
No, I don't think so. But Mitch Barnett, yeah, he's not 18th man. So hopefully obviously if he doesn't play, then he should be slotted straight back in there. But there's a part of me that wants Mitch Barnett to play. I think he deserves. There's part of me that wants someone to get injured, and I know it sounds really bad to say that, but I really want someone to get injured so he can get in there. But because I just think he deserves to have a shot.
If he wins, it's New South Wales 13 plus, isn't it? If he plays,
I wouldn't go that far, mate. But I wouldn't go that far. I don't even. I mean, I want to see him play. I don't want to see him win. That's what I'm going to say. But let's get our thoughts on this team. I thought there would be a few more changes than this. I mean, when Johnson was ruled out, I knew that they would either we're going to put Harris, Harris Tavita at 6. But there was part of me that was hoping that Chance would go to 6, just like he did against the Panthers, and that Tuapiki would come in at 1. But if not that,
you need Tuapiki. You start a little.
He's not my
Tuapiki appreciation page on Facebook.
Yeah, exactly. I think so. I mean, there's no man crush there or anything like that. There's no man crush, but I just think that every game he's played, he's been solid and he's proven. And I reckon, if he was in the other NRL club, he'll be looked upon to go on there. I mean, like Freddie Lussick, for example, he's made the interchange, and we know why he's there. But he's playing the role that Freddie Lussick plays at the moment is that all he's doing is just on attack. He's just picking the ball up and passing. He's not doing much. And defensively, he's pretty sound. We all know that. But why can't Tuapiki do that? He'd probably do more with the ball on attack, and he can tackle as well. He can tackle. He's a fullback. So why can't Tuapiki be there? In that role. And I think Jacob Laban is pretty unlucky. I reckon he could probably replace Jazz in that lineup. Just going on form, but I personally would have rather seen Tohu Harris start from the bench. That's me personally, and I reckon Walker starting at 13 because they tried Walker at 12 and it didn't work. It didn't work. No, it didn't work at all. Playing him in the second row did not work. He needed to play in that position where we're locked, where you can also have a be kind of like a playmaker role as well, but he wasn't doing that. So he was in the wrong position. So that backfired on them. Don't mind Jackson Ford still staying at 10. Murata 11, I don't mind that either, but I think that Tohu will probably be better coming off the bench and Walker into 13. That's how I would do it. Or even Coop Catewell. You know what I mean? Starting, one or the other. But the thing is, I just think a lot of respect for Tohu. He's an amazing player. He's done everything with the Storm, everything. He's a great, amazing leader. But do you think he's just a tad a bit slow at the moment? I don't know if it's age or not, or just fitness, general fitness. I don't know. It just seems a bit like that.
He's constantly injured. He's obviously always got little niggles and all that. And he's the captain, and I mean he constantly just puts up great stats. But I mean there was that game, that Storm game where he played off the bench and Walker started. I wonder whether that might sort of thing might happen. A bit more. Whether they might just, Walker can bring the energy from the start, and then Tohu can come on and, fill a few plugs, make some tackles, just make some easy meters. And he offers a bit on attack as well. He can be an extra distributor, especially without Johnson there. He can sort of play a role there, but I wouldn't be surprised to see that again. To be honest, to see. Walker come into the starting lineup, and it would make more sense having, I was saying before, having both Jazz and Walks on the bench. So
I think Pompey deserves a spot there. Like he's done pretty well since he's been on. Like he hasn't done anything to play himself out. That's what I reckon. I mean, Roger, I don't think he had the greatest game. It wasn't bad, but didn't have the greatest game. I think Sam Friday was saying the other day when I'm listening to him, he was saying that it looked like Roger was trying too hard. Marcelo Montoya, love the guy as well. Got a bit of Chilean heritage as well in him, but he looked a bit slow out there for a winger. He looked a little bit, just a tad slow there for a winger. I don't know what's going on. Was it just because they were just so discouraged that they just couldn't be at their 100% self? I don't know. I do think that like bringing Tuapiki into it, whether you shuffle that around with Roger going to fullback, or and Chance at centre, or even Tuapiki in the wing, I don't know why.
keep Chance at the back, but yeah, it's whether Tuapiki can fill in anywhere. I'm pretty sure he has played 5'8" in New South Wales Cup. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But I mean that could be an option. But I mean, I think that the Harris DeVita and Tamara Martin combination, we've seen it 2 or 3 times, and it's
It's
we've
worked.
won
Yeah.
we've won the games. Harris DeVita probably picks up a bit more of a running role, which is what we sort of misses in a half when you've got Tamara Martin and Sean Johnson playing, because they're both quite good. They're both very good at sort of controlling the game, but neither of them sort of add that edge. But we do kind of just miss a bit of a spark in our backline, like you look at so many other teams and they've got, I think the Broncos got Reece Walsh, so like Storm have got Jerome Hughes when he's running, he's so quick. Obviously Pappenhausen, I mean, Chance is great, but he's not really one of the fastest sort of fullbacks in the game.
But still, you normally get between 100 and 200 meters a game, and he makes.
He
runs it hard.
Not the meter. No, I'm just talking about like the all and out pace. Dallon's probably our fastest player, but you don't really see Dallon at full speed all that often. Like playing on the wing. So,
which is why I think Tuapiki could be that person. That's why I'm saying that, or even Roger. That's why I'm saying.
Roger when he's playing at fullback probably does add that spark. But
and this has got nothing, like I said, this is totally not an attack on any player thinking this or that. It's basically saying this is what's been at fault in our team. Like, the team is not doing well in these areas. There, like you said, there's no spark there. Something needs to change in that area. Who do you put in to change that? You need to make those changes. I think Webster's at a point now where he can't just go on name and reputation anymore. Because, I mean, people keep going on about the young guns, the Warriors youngsters that filled in for all the stars that were missing. And they did an amazing job. They didn't just do just a good job. They did an amazing job. And people say, why, if it's not broken, why, you don't need to fix it if it's not broken. But it's like, I understand why he had to bring some players in, but now that what's happened over the last couple of rounds, I think he needs to start realizing that he's got to pick on form rather than name and reputation, because he is picking on name and reputation, and we know, we all know that at the moment.
I mean, a lot of it's obviously this game plan that he's trying to sort of establish with this team. He's got a game plan. He's sort of trying to build it on this Penrith mold. Where you've got your starters, but then there's a sort of expectation that next man up comes in, which we've got that next man up sort of concept pretty good. But some of the sort of 17 start. And saying that, I mean, I don't think we've had a week where we've had all of our players at full strength. This is about as close as we've got to it this week, I think, actually. I was trying to think who's still, obviously Metcalf's out. Maybe Johnson's out. Maybe Leo Tua. Like, if he was there, I wonder whether we'd be giving him a shot, because I mean, he's obviously the future centre, on Rocco Berry as well. So if Rocco Berry is there, he'd be in for Pompey. So.
Yeah, but
we're slowly getting there to our full strength team. If you consider Metcalf to be a starting six, I don't think we're even going to get start that team this year, because when he comes back, I imagine depending on how results are going, but it will be hard to sort of throw him in there with
straight away
probably 5 rounds left. So.
I mean, if Sean Johnson wasn't injured, if I was the coach, I would be tempted to put him into reserve grade. Not because just as a punishment, but just to hopefully give him some confidence, give him have a run, and just maybe feel a bit more. Maybe the tension will be off. The tension and the expectation, will come off him. Playing in the NRL with the whole world is watching you, and going to New South Wales Cup, where people they have a big following, but it wouldn't be the same as NRL. So I think I would have thought that if he wasn't injured, putting Sean Johnson in reserve grade would have been a good thing to do. I think Edward Cossey is not first grade material at the moment. I'm not saying he can't do it. I'm saying right now he's not. I was very surprised to hear that he made the team last week. I don't know if he's got anything to show for it except for New South Wales Cup. I mean, that's the only thing he can do. But I just think that he doesn't look. He looks out of place a little bit to me in terms of first grade right now. I'd rather have Tuapiki. I mean, there we go. I'm bringing Tuapiki into it. I was really disappointed. I was so disappointed that he didn't make the 17. I just think he deserves it. And the Warriors got to be careful there. When you got someone like Tuapiki in the side, I mean, just playing a New South Wales Cup, he'll get picked up somewhere from somebody else if he's not getting it. If he's not happy, if he keeps on playing New South Wales Cup every year, once his contract's out, do you think he's going to want to stay? If he's going to get no chances at first grade? So, except unless someone gets injured, and you don't want that. You don't want that. You want to be someone that you're being picked. So they've got to be careful there because I think he deserves to be in there somewhere. I'd rather have him there than Freddie Lussick. That's just my opinion. But look, we've talked about the game a bit. I'm still predicting
about the team, haven't we?
Yeah, talk about the team. But I'm still picking the Warriors to bounce back from this, not just because I'm a diehard fan and loyal. I'm also being realistic as well. I think they'll beat the Broncos, but just. It might be a little bit harder if the Broncos origin players come in, but I'm still picking the Warriors to win 1-12. What about yourself?
Yeah, well, I mean, they're coming back to a sold out Mount Smart. All these people have bought these tickets, 3 weeks ago when we were on the back of a couple of wins. Nah, I can't back them.
Oh, come on, mate.
Nah, I know the Broncos have been great.
Ponies,
I suspect Walsh will play. I suspect Kerrigan will play. I suspect who's the other player?
Well, someone needs to make sure Reece Walsh gets his makeup bag.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's big. It is big. Depending on who plays, whether those three play. I think if they play, it'll be hard. But Reece Walsh's homecoming. I think I'm pretty sure. I don't think the Broncos played in at Mount Smart last year, so it'll be his first game at Mount Smart. So hopefully the faithful. I mean, you gotta love Walshy still, but I mean,
I mean, we give him a little bit of flack with the makeup and all that sort of stuff. But it's just a joke. He's a great player, and he was great at the Warriors. I just wish
I think that when he left the Warriors, everyone understood the reasons, and people didn't really hold it against him as such, did they? So
if it wasn't then I'd say what a dick. But anyway,
yeah, exactly. Now you're a father yourself. It changes all your thoughts on everyone's decisions. No, it'd be cool. Yeah, I hope he plays because I think it'd be cool to see him back, and it'll be interesting to see how the crowd sort of reacts to it. Well, also it'd be great if he doesn't play because it would mean it'd be more likely. But I can't. On the back of last week's performance, I know they have to bounce back, but I thought last week was going to be a bounce back, and they lost by 60 to the Titans. So maybe I'll put a jinx on the Broncos.
All right. Well, look, we've on the last couple of episodes, we've spoken pretty heavily about Origin, so I don't think we need to talk too much about that. But the game is tomorrow night. The Blues Maroons playing in Melbourne. The Blues team have a few changes into their squad, bringing Latrell Mitchell, etc. Some players been dropped. Mitchell Moses comes into 7 as well to partner with Jerome Luai. Mitch Barnett, I thought he would have made the 17, but he hasn't. So I really hope that something happens, like I said earlier, because I really want him to play, but I don't think the Blues will be able to do it. I think the Maroons will be too strong, as they usually are. Richard, just wanted to say that.
Yeah, Blues got good record of the MCG. I think they won 4 out of 5 there, and also the team that when it's 1-0 and it goes to a neutral ground, stats are heavily in the favour of the team who are 1-0 down. So I think that I mean they have to. Sure, I say they have to, but no, I'll back my Blues. I'll back my Blues, and I'll back. Who am I going to back to score a try? Got Latrell to score a try.
Yep. Well,
if you put in the same game multi on, who are you putting in to score a try, John?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I would put Xavier Coates score one, but I predicted DCE to be man of the match the last game, and he was. I was like, oh, far out. Yeah,
So
I
who's
tipped
your
him to
man
be the
of
man of the match.
who's your man of the match this time?
Man of the match will be. I'm gonna say Ben Hunt or Harry Grant.
Ben Hunt does love an Origin game.
He
I'm going
does.
to Dylan Edwards on debut. I think he's going to have an absolute blinder.
Nah.
You know?
Nah, it's anyway. But look, yeah, that's the way it's going to be. We'll see what happens. You know, I'm up 1-0 against you there, but yeah, let us know what you guys. Whoever's listening, let us know what you're thinking about Origin. Who you think is going to win? Will the Maroons take this out? But anyway, let's just quickly round things up. Let's go into the rest of the games. Not many games on because of Origin this week. Well, actually, no, there's a full slot. My bad.
Pretty much full. 7 games. No Thursday night.
Yeah, Rabbitohs, Seagulls, and Titans got the buys. Lucky for them. So first game, Bulldogs, Sharks. Nico Hines obviously back as well. Be playing there because of his axing from the New South Wales state team, state of origin side. Bulldogs look pretty good, don't they, at the moment?
They've been playing great, but they did get smoked by the Roosters on the weekend. But yeah, I think before that they've won three or four on the trot. Some good wins. Playing at home, yeah. I'm siding with the doggies on this one. I think the conditions were horrible and they just couldn't quite adjust them against the Roosters game is just a lot more suitable for that sort of thing. But you know, Matt Burton will be wanting to sort of, you know, prove himself. So if New South Wales, you know, God forbid, do happen to lose this game, I think Burton will be wanting to put a big performance on to say, hey, give me a go. So, like the doggies.
Yep. Fair enough. I'm with you on that one, the doggies. We've already discussed Warriors, Broncos. I've got Warriors 1-12. You've got Broncos, what, 13 plus or 1-12?
Just 1-12. Just 1-12. Not going to go over the top, you know.
Yeah, fair enough. Knights versus Eels. For me, it really depends who plays, because I don't think the Knights are really anything special, but I think the Eels are not anything special without Moses. Yeah, because I think Dylan Brown will probably have to slot back into halfback. Let me just check the team list here. Yeah, oh no, Mitchell Moses he's been penciled to play in, so I guess he'll play. So yeah,
yes, I think it's what is it? Wednesday to Saturday, so it's 4 days to turn around. So 3 days to turn around.
Yeah, the body will be aching, you know, in 4 days. But you know, if he's playing, good on him. In that case, I'll pick the Eels over the Knights.
I will go. Oh, it's hard, isn't it? I'll go the Knights just to be different. But I think the Knights look to be. Yeah, I know, they're pretty. God, it's pretty horrible. Hard game to pick that one because both. I mean, we've said it before. This year's just been hard for the multis, But no, I'll go the Knights.
Yeah. All right. Storm Raiders.
I'm not giving as much as I love my Raiders, I'm not giving them much of a chance against the Storm this week. Unfortunately, they were pretty disappointing on Sunday. And typical Raiders form, you know, scored 3 tries in about 10 minutes to get within 3 tries with 10 minutes to go, and it got my hopes up, you know. But Adam Dewey, did you see Adam Dewey's try?
Yeah,
for Tigers. That was awesome. Great to see after.
Yeah. No, they look.
Burns Xavier Savage as well, one of the quickest guys in the league.
Yeah, trying to figure out whether the Tigers are better, or did just like with the Warriors and the Titans, did the Raiders make them look good, because they're pretty woeful as well. Where even Ricky had a big had a bit of a stinker at them as well. But yeah, no, I'm going with Storm. We're both going Storm.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Dragons, Dolphins. I'm just going to say it. Dolphins, easy. They've been playing good. I saw their game. I think it was against the Storm on the weekend, and they were good. They nearly did it, and they look good. The Dolphins.
Some of the tries in that game were amazing. It was one of the most entertaining games I've seen in a long time.
Yeah,
I think it was
totally. That's why I have no hesitation.
30 in the end. It was just a duel,
the last minute.
Yeah. That Trey Fuller, man, that fullback for the Dolphins, that backup fullback for the Dolphins is one exciting
exactly.
player. So similar to
Yeah.
Tuapiki, he's a guy that there'll be a few clubs, be thinking, oh, I wouldn't mind trying to find a spot for him. But I'll go Finns as well. I love the Finns this week.
Yep, with you, that's why I had no hesitation. They just look really hot on attack. Their attack is really great. So I just think, Dolphins. But Panthers, Cowboys. I'll go Panthers. I still don't think much of the Cowboys this season, even though they've had some wins of late after the Warriors game. But I still think the Panthers will take this one.
Yeah, we saw what the Warriors did to the Cowboys after that week, after last Origin game when they had all their players out. So more than happy to take the Panthers here. I think they could put on a bit of a clinic, I reckon.
Yep, and I would like the Cowboys obviously to lose because they're on 8. Cowboys are 8th at the moment, 8th position, sorry, on 18 points, and we're on 15. So if we can take a win, we'll be getting closer. So. Well, there's actually 3 teams that are on 18, which is the Bulldogs, the Broncos, and the Cowboys. So we can do ourselves a favor by beating the Broncos. Cowboys, if Panthers can beat the Cowboys, they will stay there. And the Bulldogs, we both picked the Bulldogs to win, but who knows? Who knows what will happen? But just to keep us in the running there. But in the last game, who have we got here? Tigers and Roosters. Who you got?
I'd love to see the Tigers go 3 in a row, just for Benji, but that Roosters team. They put on a clinic against the Dogs last week, and they just know how to win games. I think they could be a little. If I was having a bet on the outright market, I think I'd probably be going with the Roosters, even though they've had a few lapses here and there. I think every team has, So you can probably get a bit of value for them. So I'm gonna go Roosters with not much hesitation. No hesitation at all, actually.
Yep. No, same with you. I'm going Roosters. I think that even though I'd love to see it, like you said, like to see the Tigers win for Benji, especially after the flack that he's been getting. I just don't think that they'll be able to do it against the Roosters. So that's our tips. Again, mentioning the buys, Rabbitohs, Sea Eagles, and Titans. So lucky for them that they get that this week off. It's going to be interesting to see who can return to club footy after Origin. But
always hard doing tips this week. You kind of want to. You'd almost rather just wait till a bit close to the games to see how likely it will be. Make sure that Latrell doesn't take off Reece Walsh's head or something like that in the game. So.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's all we have for tonight, guys. Thanks again for listening to us. Hopefully, our tips have been giving you some good on the multis. Do you think people are doing really well on the multis? I don't think they are. I don't know if our tips will be helping people on their multis, would they?
Oh, I'm here. I just pulled my.
Where'd you go, mate?
He said it out.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
So you got 4 out of 5 last week.
Oh no, it's all good. It's all good. I got 4 out of 5. Okay, but it's not good enough because still would have lost the multi
on the wires as well.
But
just don't bet it on the wires. That's my.
What was it? That one.
My multi advice, because if you bet against them, they'll win by 30, and then you bet on them, and they'll lose the Titans by 60. So.
Yep, fair enough. Well, again, guys, let me do this again. That's all we have for tonight. Really hope you've enjoyed this episode. Really hope that you're enjoying our voices and our insight into the games and stuff. We're just couch coaches, but we love this. We love doing this, and we're loving the engagement that we're getting with many of you who are messaging through about the podcast and also through our social media channels as well. So thanks a lot. Thanks. We ask that you continue to spread the news about us. Subscribe to our podcast on YouTube, Spotify, and where else do we put this on?
Oh, a few other podcast platforms, iTunes and the rest. Just search up and see if you can find us.
Yep. To do that, be a big help towards us because we're starting to build something here. So we're really thankful for your support. We say this every week, but we mean it because every week we're getting more and more support. So thanks again, everyone. Thanks for joining us on Couch Coaches and up the wires. And when we come back next week, I will be telling Richard, I told you so, when the Warriors beat the Broncos. Have a good night, everybody.
I'll be happy to see it. Up the wires, baby.